Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today with Valorant news, and with the last chance qualifier for North America still waiting to be resumed, big questions being raised the last week or so around what exactly 100 Thieves are planning to do ahead of Champions if they do qualify for it later this year. Changes apparently still are going to be happening here, could still potentially be the one to return if they can somehow solve the chemistry issues within that squad. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Firstly, this from Dazzle over at Luminosity. I miss how often we got to play matches in Counter-Strike. Valorant circuit's so spread out, I just want a game. That's the thing with CS. I think a lot of people who followed CS, like myself a couple of years ago, kind of fell out of the scene just because there was so much going on all the time. It was tough to keep up with the quantity of events, and it seemed like every weekend Astralis were playing Na'Vi or Liquid or whatever, and it just wasn't quite the same as when you got to see them play like every so often, like once a month or something at a big event. There was almost too many events going on, I would say, back in the day. But still, Valorant is, well, fair play, like very spread out, right? Not too much going on from the right side, at least from the official side. That is certainly something to think about, I suppose, going forwards as they change this format into future seasons. This is also from Sky Esports India. They're hosting a tri-series tournament, they're describing it here, hosted in Dubai, from between India, between Pakistan, and between Bangladesh. So really cool to see, to be honest. 3 countries, 3 teams, one big battle with the biggest prize pool in the history of Valorant in South Asia for a LAN tournament. So pretty cool to see stuff like this going on. On the Brazilian Valorant side, I wanted to mention this actually. So VK screaming against VKS, quality team names with Muzera. Honestly, some of these names in Valorant just crack me up. Tough to pronounce sometimes. But yeah, these are the squads that apparently were playing each other, as kind of Valorant Brazil points out on Reddit here last night. So potentially these are some of the squads if you guys follow that scene particularly closely. This that I wanted to say from, well, Steel, of course, from the 100 Thieves side. Of course, look, if they do make it all the way through this last chance qualifier and then, well, go through their brackets, they take down FaZe or Rise or whoever they're going to have to play, because they took down xSet and they took down, well, they advanced to a significant point in the brackets. Of course, without Steel, now they've brought Boy into their squad. That was, of course, a bit of a surprise when they made that decision at the time. But anyway, if they do manage to qualify through for Champions, you wouldn't expect them to make a change. But Ethan did very well say, as we'll look at it in just a second, a couple of weeks ago now, that this is not the final iteration of their team. Of course, if they qualify, it would be quite the change really to bring Steel back, given the fact that, like, well, they dropped him and then they, of course, qualify for Champions. But if they don't qualify, then you've got to think what might they potentially do. As Steel says right here, I believe this was related to what was going on stream at the time, but some people were definitely looking at this tweet and saying, they pulled me back in just when I thought I was out, what exactly do you mean by that? This type of stuff in the replies. So some questions coming out about this, right, especially because of this article that came out on VLR.GG a couple of weeks ago now. 100T Ethan, this is definitely not the final iteration of the team. As you can see down here, Ethan hesitated to describe this Boy in for Steel as a band-aid iteration, but highlighted the team's performance coming out of an accelerated practice schedule. I think we've only had a couple of days to practice. I think everyone's pretty comfortable with where they are right now. This is definitely not the final iteration of the squad. So potentially role compositions, potentially other things might potentially change, but I by no means guarantee that this squad is going to be staying into the future, especially with how things might potentially change at the last chance qualifier, depending on what goes down there. So maybe something to keep your eyes on over the coming days, what exactly 100 Thieves are thinking if they do qualify for Champions. If they don't, certainly saw some changes still could be just around the corner. Wanted to mention this actually as well from Valorbuff. Thought this is pretty cool. Looking at more the agent meta stats from patch 3.06, breaking down the pick rate for all the different agents. As you can see right here, this is over like all the maps, all the ranks, and all this type of stuff. Like which agents are generally getting picks. So Sage is up there number 1, then Reyna, then Jet. No real surprise there. Then we've got Killjoy, actually Viper, Raze, and stuff like this. I've just ordered them by pick rate here, so you guys can see it on the left-hand side. To Astra being the least picked overall, then Breach, then a Yoru down here at 10.6%, and maybe Omen could be. So well, people have been talking about an Omen buff, but to be fair, he's not too far down for anything. But if you do change this to, like, let's just say you go Immortal, now the pick rates will drop here, just because I think it's considering like the overall pool and kind of picking out the Immortal games from that. So things are slightly lower, but you can kind of see the distribution here is a little bit different in that Viper gets somewhat higher, at least relative to the other ones. If you look at Viper's down here at, like, I guess this is like the 8th pick or whatever, but in maybe the higher ranked stuff, then things go up. If you look even at Radiant, for example, Viper here at 5th, Jet at number 1 still, no doubt, Reyna, then Sova. So definitely going to make sense as you move up the ranks, things will start to change. But you see at the very highest level, Omen's down here, and even further down you get Yoru and Phoenix down here as well. So definitely indicative, I think, of some changes that may be made in future patch updates. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube algorithm. You enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
I'm rotating.
Coming out.
Suck it. Percent.
Nice, go, bro.
No suck, no suck.
Oh, the bug.
Good job.
Lane. Nice.
Nice job.
He was turning. He's B main. Nice. Dude, the new jet update saved your life.
Yeah, it actually
They
did.
literally
They
accidentally
should keep
did a
that.
good
No
nerf.
cap.
They
Good, that's
literally
good because I died because of it. So it's evened out. You got the kill, I
This
died.
guy was staring at me.
That's perfect, actually. They can't do that bullshit anymore. Just fly over
Updraft
the whole
dash
boat
over the
site,
wall, yeah.
Fly over the boathouse, get a free kill on the guy with, like, put his pants down.
Alright, we can switch it up. I can go cat or A. Help.